Purdue head coach Matt Painter. Brian, go ahead and start us, please.
Yeah, hey, Matt. Can you just speak to, I guess, some of the, I know you don't want to make excuses or anything like that, but some of the just the breaks that went against your team in terms of where the ball bounced and who it bounced to and where they were when it bounced to them.
Yeah. A lot of the things that happened, even like the whole second half, just seemed like there was a handful of pinball plays where we did some pretty good things, whether it was, active hands or deflections and things, and the ball would just, miraculously like landed in their hands, and they'd make a tough floater or layup, or we'd foul them at that point. And so that's, it's just one of those breaks of the game. And then, Kalsher got going. He makes a three in transition when we're right there, not on a set, when we're right there with him, and he just makes a tough shot. And then we don't get to him in transition, and he sticks another three. And that was a tough one. Then we fall down on a play, just fall down, and his man's guarding, he just falls to the ground, and he gets a three. And so we just had some things go against us, and where we're allowing someone to get some looks at the basket that we should have taken away, at that point. But as you go into the end of the game, we were getting the ball where we wanted outside of Jaden's turnover, which he should have just got the ball out of his hands. He got too deep without any place to go and travels. But we were getting where we wanted to, to be. We had a couple loose balls that we just didn't get, obviously long rebounds. And the one that, Carr gets at the end that he banks in, we have to be able to get that basketball. And, we just didn't. And you let somebody get a crack at it, even though he obviously is not aiming to bank it in. Then the things that happened in the game, Mason's charge that he took, that they called a block, could go either way. And so it's one of those things. They've been so loose with things when you're there and there's some movement. Those have been called charges all year. And so, but there's a little bit of movement there. So that's a 50-50 play. Then at the end, they call that travel, and it's obviously not a travel. And so they allow them to put two hands on our back, and they allow those guys to have an arm bar. And so throughout the course of the game, it's happened all season. And you don't know what to do because it's a rule. You can't put two hands in your back, when you're in post up, but they let it go. So you got to adjust to it, but you can't call it travel, especially when somebody doesn't travel. He keeps, he dribbles, he keeps his left foot, he hops, he keeps his left foot set. And I just don't know. That's a hard one for us in our locker room. That's a really hard one. We get a call that's 50-50 go against us. Then we get a call that's obviously wrong. It just looks like he was searching for something.
So just to be clear, you're more upset with the call on Travion that it wasn't a foul or that it was a travel?
Well, it's not going to be a foul. They're going to let those guys, right. That's just the way it's evolved into that. And it's not supposed to evolve into that. That's not what the rule is. That's not what it's set out to be. They're not going to call it that way when it gets into the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Guys don't advance. They don't want that. And it's part of it. So I'm cool with that. But don't call it travel. It's not a travel, is my point.
So how do you handle something like this with your team? Do you emphasize
you move on?
The positive here and say, hey, a whole bunch of stuff went against us? Or is this a we have to be better sort of game?
Yeah, both. You can't go in on the road and shoot 2 for 17 from 3. Yeah. And then something gets close. We got too many guys that can shoot the ball well, that don't knock down shots for us. And, you got to be able to shoot the basketball better. I thought we did some really good things. I thought Eric Hunter, once again, was really good. Marcus Carr banks in that shot. He's 7 for 18. He's 6 for 18. If that shot's just a normal, spank ball that goes off and misses that. Once again, he does a really good job on Marcus Carr. I thought he played a good offensive game too, did some really good things for us. So we had some bright spots. Zach Edey once again played well. We got the ball to Travion in a lot of good positions down there, and we got to keep doing that. But there's positives. That's why I told him. I said, you allow the game to be close, crazy things can happen. We allowed it to be close. Some things went against us, and they want a nail biter.
You have had a couple of these go your way, and I'm wondering, when you're dealing with a young team, do you try to keep them level, that you don't want them to get down on themselves after something like this happens to them, or how do you sort of approach things?
Yeah, you're theorizing way more than coaches theorize. You're trying to write an article, and I'm trying to coach a team. You just deal with each play. If it's positive, you reinforce it. If it's negative or you can make a mistake, you just correct it and work on it. That's all you do. Like, you don't sit around and, give a speech, all the time. You just, it's not that big of a deal. They're all a bunch of individual plays. You just watch film and you work on those things and you try to get better. That's about it. Like, it's not young, old, high school, college, pros. It's none of that. It's just, keep playing the game, keep working on things and learn from it. We allowed it to be close, just like if they ended up losing it, they would say they allowed it to be close. And that's what happens in close games.
Anything you're seeing offensive execution wise down the stretch between this and Maryland, where the ones you kind of needed there at the end you came up empty? Obviously, we talked about some of the stuff that happened tonight, but.
Right. No, we got the last two possessions in Maryland. We settle for a 3, and then we try to drive the ball and we don't get the ball to the rim like we had been. And then we take a tough shot and, you want those 2 possessions back, but we got the ball inside. We weren't, shooting well from the perimeter. So running something to try to get a look, that's kind of got to be a last resort. We were trying to get the ball to Travion or trying to get the ball to Zach and go at him in there. And I think that was our best thing, and then be able to play off of those guys.
Other than them being good, what was so favorable about this for Travion and Zach? Were they guarding them differently in this game from the first game, or?
No, just, they had matchups and, you're getting the ball deep into the post and, you want to keep going at guys and, trying to get to the free throw line, trying to get layups, trying to get, deep post moves. So I thought both those guys, you look at their numbers between them, they get 37 points. They were never in the game together outside of 3 seconds there at the end. That's a lot of points on the interior. So if one guy played the whole game and got 37 points, people would look at that like it's a pretty good deal. So we got a lot of production, from those guys. We got a lot of production from Eric Hunter. I thought Mason Gillis, did some things for us tonight. And, while he was in there, we were pretty good. He plays 25 minutes. He's got a plus 11 on us. So we just got to be better. We got to be 1 possession better.
I'm good. Thank you, Matt.
No problem.
Carmen?
Just with the 3-point shooting, guys not ready to shoot. Are you back to that? Or was there something else tonight? Wrong people shooting?
We had a couple that, we'd like to have back, I would guess. I think anytime you have a high volume of shooting, like, you shoot 17 of them, there's probably a couple in there but for the most part, I thought they were pretty good shots. They just didn't go down. And, it happens. They always talk about, your toughness, your defense, your rebounding, that travels. But sometimes your jump shot doesn't travel. I think that's a true statement in competitive basketball. And, we were really close to being able to grind this one out. And, it didn't go their way. They made a big shot, even though it was a bank in from the top. And you got to live with it.
Just the way Mason impacted this game beyond scoring and a couple of loose balls that he kept alive and things like that.
Yeah, he does a lot of little things. He gets 8 rebounds in 25 minutes. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's around the ball. Just competitive. It's what, when I was recruiting him, it's one of the things that jumped out about him is just, his competitive spirit and how hard he played. But I thought he did a lot of little things for us.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Greg, you have anything for Coach?
Yeah, I got one for you, Matt. 2, the travel they called on Travion in real time. You hated it. I saw you hate it. Did you ever go back and look at it afterwards? Locker room?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he didn't travel.
Okay. And the way you keep saying that, and I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't think you
in trouble.
What?
You tell the truth. It's not going to get you in trouble. Truth doesn't get you in trouble.
Well, as you said, this is not high school. It's not NBA. This is college, whatever. But in the NBA, if you said what you just said, you get fined. I have no idea. Are there what happens after you make this? You're going to get something. Are you get reprimanded? What's going to happen?
You're asking if I'm going to get reprimanded for saying somebody traveled and that was a bad call?
Is it not?
That's not. No. I went back and watched the tape. Mason's call was a 50-50 call on the block charge. It could have went either way. And then that wasn't a travel. So, yeah, we don't. They don't do that when you're subtle about things and you just kind of say something direct. But I went back and watched them both, and it's just unfortunate. There's people get in theory about letting players decide. Like, I'm not about that. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm not, hey, let the kids decide. No, if somebody fouls somebody, call it. If somebody travels, call it. But you can't call something that doesn't happen, especially when you're out and you don't see a lot of times the guys on the basketball and the guys that have the ball, they're going to let some contact go. And so then they're able to ref the play because they know they allowed some things to go. But then when other people step in there and take the basketball after there's some contact, they call it travel, that's what gets a little sticky. But in this situation, that's not what happened. He dribbles, he jump stops, he sets his left foot, and he doesn't move it.
I hear you, by the way, on letting players decide stuff. You do that in the real world, that's called chaos. There are rules for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, all good, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I got two. Thank you for your time tonight, Matt. I appreciate it. Marcus Carr doubled his point total from the last time you saw him. Did you change anything in covering him, or was that him just as a player stepping up to the plate?
Yeah, just, he's a tough matchup. I thought Eric Hunter did a good job. For him to take 18 shots and really score 16 points, if you want to get down to it, he makes that shot at the end that he doesn't aim to bank. So he shoots the ball 18 times and scores 19 points. I think anybody in our league would take that. That's something, because he's such, he's so capable of getting 30 and just carrying the load. And then, for us, we keep him off the free throw line. Once again, 2 games in a row. And that was really one of the main things we wanted to do, is just, keep making him, he's going to make some step backs. He's going to make some tough threes. He's going to make some floaters, but don't foul him. Don't let him get to that free throw line and steal points.
And then your physicality was there from the get-go up until those last 5 or 6 minutes. Was that just part of the miscommunication going on, or was them just sinking those shots just a little demoralizing for the team at the very end?
Yeah, the ones that really for us, a couple of those long rebounds, kind of loose balls that we didn't get, those are the ones when you let somebody have another crack at it. Those are the ones as a coach, you just can't. You just can't have them. You got to secure the rebounder. You got to get those 50-50 balls. But Kalsher's shots were big shots for them. I know they were spread out, but one of them was closely guarded, but the other one was just a guy not getting out in transition. Then another one was a guy falling down. And so those are plays, you just want him to earn them. You just don't want him to have a wide open step in rhythm 3. And he got 2 of those in the game. Just think if you stop those plays there and just make them go earn it. And if they do, they do. But it's not, he's still got to make the shot. Don't misrepresent what I'm saying there. It's just, he can shoot the basketball. You just can't let him step in and shoot rhythm shots.
Thank you.
Yep. No
Anyone
problem.
else? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.